Thanks for pressing play. This is Saints of Cinema. I'm Timothy Winterstein.
And I'm Jay Winterstein.
You may get a hold of us if you would like. Send us an email, saintscinemapod@gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook, X sometimes, Instagram. You can go to our website, which I would recommend. All our previous episodes are up there. If you're listening to this, we've had a few little bit of a bump, I don't know, in listeners or downloads.
Yeah.
I appreciate that, whoever you are, taking a look at and listening. If you got an idea, comment, feedback, whatever, you can send us an email or comment on a post. Jay, this is episode 91, and we're a little bit late this year on maybe our best of 2025. But even though we're late, I really want to talk about it. The Oscars have gone by. I have bones to pick, and
I think we've given people the opportunity to see all the films from 2025 now, and that's really why we took a couple months. I think we really wanted people to be able to see all the films that they wanted to see. Yeah.
This is probably the first year. Or at least the year that I've gotten closest to seeing all the Best Picture nominees, even before the Oscars. Pretty close. I haven't, and I still haven't. So maybe we start with this. What are the movies that you have not yet seen from 2025 that you are still on your list? You got some, or have you seen them all?
No, for sure. There's some. Hamnet, I think, is on the list. I know Jessie Buckley took Best Actress for that one. It's not really a film that I think is, up my alley. A film like I would pick out to watch. But it definitely showed up on a few of the Oscar lists, so it's certainly one I want to see. And then on top of that, Sentimental Value, which I tried to get through it last night. I got through maybe half of it. I'm gonna try and finish it up tonight, and I know that was a big one for you, Tim. So those are probably the two major ones that are on my list, the 2025 list that I haven't been able to see. How about you?
Yeah, Hamnet is on my list. It's I have access to Peacock, so I'm going to watch that at some point. The other one is my daughter was in a car accident about 30 minutes before the end of Marty Supreme, so I have not seen the last.
She's safe now.
Yeah, she's safe. It wasn't a life-threatening one. So, but it kept me from seeing the end of it. So, which of course, I left the theater. At first I was ignoring my son's texts, and then I decided maybe I shouldn't. So, but Marty Supreme might have been on my list if I had been able to finish it, depending on how it finished out. And I've got to be careful. I think it's in April 24th. So, I will watch it.
Good.
So those are probably the ones that I haven't seen. That I've seen pretty much the rest of them.
Yeah, I felt pretty good about my viewing for 2025. I think I got most of the big ones.
Okay. So let's just do our favorites. You got honorable mentions?
I do.
That maybe didn't make your top 10, but you're still like, yeah, I kind of like those.
Oh, so these would probably be in my top 10, maybe just not my top 5 here.
Okay. Well, I got some outside of my top 10.
Okay. I went outside of my top 5.
That's why they're honorable mentions.
Overachiever. No, fair enough.
No, it's just I liked a lot of movies, man.
There are some good ones, and I think we're gonna have some good ones this year as well. Just outside my top 10, I'm just gonna drop some titles. Yeah, real quick. Wake Up Dead Man. If you haven't already, check out our episode. Just outside my top 5 here. Another one, Eddington, which I really liked. It's very much in the spirit vein of Beau is Afraid. So if you enjoyed Beau is Afraid, I think you're really going to like Eddington. I saw somewhere that someone had said that it was maybe the best film, maybe not about COVID, but set in the timeline of COVID, and I think I would agree with that, because I don't know that I could think of another film that handled COVID as well as it did. Because it's not a preachy, it's not a this is how you should feel about
There's
COVID.
preachiness, but the movie.
Yes, but I don't.
It's really interesting.
Yeah, and I like the way that they handled the subject matter, and Joaquin Phoenix's characters. It's kind of an offshoot, it feels like, of his character in Beau is Afraid. So maybe just not quite as awkward, but I really enjoyed it.
The ending has resonances with Beau is Afraid.
It does. Because it's very much like this build-up, and then once it gets to the end, it kind of comes quick. Yeah. And you're trying to keep up with the film after sitting in the theater for 2 hours. now you're trying to keep up and, all right, what's going on here? Okay. So it's a fantastic film. It's a great watch. Another one, Frankenstein. If you haven't already, another one we did an episode on. Check out our episode with Scott Stigemeyer for that one. Just, I really like the way that they updated it for a modern retelling of this. The visuals are fantastic, has some great themes that we discussed, what it really means to be human, all that stuff. It's really all in there. It's packed and really a beautiful film. I don't know that I would recommend the film Die, My Love, but Jennifer Lawrence should have won Best Actress for this one. Probably the best acting performance I saw of the year. She was absolutely incredible. Because I think a lot of times you think of, I don't know, Hunger Games or what she started out, but she has some range, and she really showed it in this film.
Mother, right? She's in Mother?
She is. Yes. And it's kind of one of those things where I would say her performance is up there with Mother. They're both on the same level as this one. And then just to round it out, so Seurat.
Okay.
Did you see Seurat?
That's one I haven't seen. It's available. I could watch it.
Okay. This is one
It actually screened here in Bloomington. I could have gone.
Oh, really?
And seen it.
It's not for everyone. So if you go into this and you're like, no. Like I get it. But I think it's my most what the heck film of the year. It starts out the general premise or plot of the film is where a father is searching for his daughter with his son. So it's a father and the son, and they heard that she was last at this music festival. So they go to this music festival, and basically they're just going around saying, have you seen my daughter? And it just, one thing leads to another, and they're on this journey. And then what? At the end there. And I left the theater because I saw it at the film festival. I didn't know anything about it. All I saw was it played it or something, and people had loved it or something. It was, you'll know what I'm talking about when it happens. But it was just, I'm looking around, like, is this real? Did that really just happened? And I got out of the theater and I was like, I didn't know what to feel or what to think. Just, okay, that happened and that was the film. And that, if that's what you're looking for in a film,
you want that.
It was up for Best Foreign Film of the Year. Seurat didn't win, lost out to Sentimental Value, but that one's a wild one.
Yeah. It's available to me. I could watch it, maybe.
What's it playing on? Do you know? Actually, I don't. How is it available to you?
HBO or Hulu or something.
Okay.
I saw it somewhere on one of the 80,000 streaming services that I have trials for, or special deals or whatever. So I have some that are sort of outside my top 10, and I feel like I could go back and forth. Like, somebody could easily convince me about some of these, like, move them higher or lower. So I don't know how to say exactly, but here's one that sort of hit me, like, maybe at the right moment. And so even though I was like, I'm not this is going to make, I feel like it's going to be a cheesy movie, like, maybe, like, it hit me at the right moment. And the acting, I think, kept it is Big Bold Beautiful Journey. I love Kogonada. I'm really looking forward to his film coming out this year. It's not quite, it has some of the same elements as, say, After Yang thematically, or kind of fantasy type stuff. But hit me at the right moment, just like sort of decisions you make. And I think it's maybe it's an underrated film. Maybe it's just because of the sort of films Margot Robbie's been in before. I don't know exactly why it didn't get a lot of play. Anyway, so that's there. Phoenician Scheme is on there just kind of as, I just enjoyed the ride, and it's not my favorite Wes Anderson, but I kind of enjoyed the ride, 28 Years Later, that's still, it's not in my top films, and also Frankenstein, I agree. No Other Choice, I need to watch again, but I think it could edge up. That one could definitely edge up from where it is if I watch it again.
Yeah, I agree. That was the one I was struggling to stay awake at the film festival, and I wish.
Yes, me too.
I wanted.
It's not because of the film. We should be clear.
Sure.
It's because we stay up too late there.
Yes.
But no, but that's one I need to see again because I was enjoying it, and I think I'd be able to put the pieces together a little bit easier if I were awake.
Yeah, it had a great Q&A. I loved listening
yes
to him speak about the film.
Yeah. Yeah. Here's a late addition to my list. I just watched it. Together. Have you seen it?
Is this a Franco and Brie Larson?
Yeah, Allison.
Okay, and it's so it's like a relationship drama.
It's a body
horror.
It's really,
body horror.
Yeah.
I've seen it. Or I haven't seen the film, but I'm familiar with it. And someone said they watched it, and they're like, I don't know, it wasn't blown away. So I didn't.
Right.
I haven't.
It's not one that it's one that I keep. This sometimes happens. Not my favorite movie of the year, but it's one that I keep sort of. My mind keeps returning to. Like, I wonder what they're doing with that, or like exactly how does that fit with the other parts. And it's as if someone imagined, and maybe this is what happened. I don't know. The two shall become one flesh, and they said, what if that actually happened? That's what the premise of this movie is. Literally. I keep thinking about it. It's like certain themes in that movie, and I'm not 100% sure what the filmmakers are after in terms of. Anyway, there's enough to explore there, I think, that's interesting. And then Sinners is around there. I don't know. Sinners, Secret Agent, Wake Up Dead Man. They're all kind of floating around there that I and especially after our conversations on Sinners and Wake Up Dead Man. Those are some people did not like them, but those are kind of they're in the hunt. They're on the bubble.
In the hunt. Now that you mention it, I don't think I really enjoyed The Secret Agent. I'd like to tell me more.
I was watching it, and there was lots of people in the hotel room, my family, and I was a little distracted.
Lots of people, aka my family.
Yeah. Well, I gotta be, sometimes you have to be clear. But and they were not excited about it. It's a slow mover, but
yeah,
it's not maybe on my top of my list. But it's in there. It's in the
okay. I think I want it. I expected a little more espionage.
Yes, I did.
From a film called The Secret Agent. I think I wanted a little more from that kind of a genre of film.
A little more like The End, maybe.
Yes. And it wasn't, and then it was just a bit slower, and so maybe that's
explodes.
So maybe that's some bias that I had going into it. So maybe I can blame it on that.
But it's still I thought it was well done. It's still well acted.
So what's interesting about this one is I think that was the only film in the Oscar nominations that was nominated for Best Foreign and Best Picture.
And the last time that happened
was Parasite, right? Well, so I just thought that's a shoo-in. If you're nominated for Best Foreign and Best Picture, how would you not get Best Foreign? And then it didn't get Best Foreign.
And then it didn't.
I mean, I didn't think it had a shot of getting Best Picture, but...
Yeah, I have my reasons for why the winner got it. But all right, top five. Let's go one by one on this one. Let's go back and forth. What's your number 5, Jay?
You mentioned it. 28 Years Later. I thought it was a great kind of... It's not a... I don't know that I would call it a reset to the franchise, but it kind of had that feeling, especially when the next film, Bone Temple, takes place from that film. So it kind of felt like a reset and taking the same ideas. We got we got the zombies running around, but different characters, and I thought they just did a great job of it. I mean, obviously we did an episode. Check out our episode on that one. But I thought it was a nice Meat That's right. And I like when horror films can say something other than boo, or I'm just going to try and scare you. I like when there's something else there. And I think all of that is really into this film, and I think they did a great job with it. Visually, the story was great, had some great acting. I think it was just a really complete horror film.
Yeah, and I don't know that I could come up with sort of a deeper sort of interpretation of this with Bone Temple, but those are an interesting pair of films taking place in the same time, and the way that they sort of both come out and really deal with entirely different. I mean, it's not just a continuation of the story. It's connected by two characters mainly, or three maybe, but but it's two completely different stories. And I thought it was interesting.
I don't. What do you? And I haven't
I like
seen
the first one better. I think. I guess.
The very first 28.
No. I mean, 28 years later, better than Bone Temple. I think.
Okay.
But,
yeah, and I haven't seen Bone Temple. But I will say, I mean, if we're talking about trilogies where the third one is as good, if not better, than the first, I don't think there's too many that would be on that list. And I don't know, I might throw this
4.
one in.
We got 4, right?
Well, okay, but
28 days,
yet.
28 weeks.
Days, weeks, years, and then Bone Temple would be the fourth. Yeah. But if you
I see what you're saying. If you take off Bone Temple, you're saying the third.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, I gotcha.
Because I don't know. Bone Temple is technically it's in the same universe, but I think if you look at days, weeks, years being the third, and the if you want to call that a trilogy,
I gotcha. Okay. So if you consider these a two-parter, maybe.
True. Part 1, part 2.
I'm with you. I agree. Although it's been a while since I've seen Days and Weeks, but I remember really enjoying them when I watched them. The first.
I think Weeks is the least of the 3. It kind of feels like how most sequels feel. We're gonna take the same idea, move it over to
move
this
it a little bit, kind of like A Quiet Place for me.
Yeah.
The second Quiet Place movie.
And
okay.
The only other one, I mean, I don't know. I'd probably have to think about it a little longer, but The Godfather probably isn't there. I mean, no one's saying the third's as good as the first, but that'd be the only one I think that would be close. I don't know.
Yeah, would people say Star Wars or Indiana Jones or
maybe potentially.
But no, I'm with you.
Okay.
I think it'd be an interesting rewatch, and there's an interesting cameo in the Bone Temple that you haven't seen.
Does Cillian Murphy come back?
I'm not saying.
Okay.
It's possible. It's a possibility.
Wait, really?
My number five is I'm going to go with Eddington.
Well done.
I didn't have it on my list, but then I went back and I was adding some. I was like, wait a second. I need to adjust my list. I went through the year. I kind of add a film if I thought this has a chance. And I was reorganizing, moving some films around. And I love the ride just like I love Beau is Afraid. Like, it's just it's the insanity of people confronted with certain circumstances where they just feel their certainty is shaken. And it's not quite the same thing in Eddington. I mean, but I think it's a good point. Like, all of the sorts of things that are going on since COVID are just, the movie does not take a side. And in some ways, it's like After the Hunt. See, seen this one, After the Hunt, with Julia Roberts?
Yeah. Luca Guadagnino.
Yeah.
However you say his name.
I thought I could say it, and then when it came out of my mouth, it wasn't coming out right. So in some ways, it feels like that on a different topic, which is people want it to be a certain thing, and I think a similar thing happened, which is depending on how you feel or what your opinions are about the thing, it's going to change how you view the whole movie. And to me, that's a really interesting thing where you could have, at the beginning of the film, I'm with this guy, I'm with this person, or I'm like, this person aligns with what I think, or whatever the case may be. But then as the film goes on, it gets very, very messy, and you're like, wait, who do I agree with here? And to me, that's a thing where that shows that I think that's an interesting dynamic for the viewer, and a way that we can maybe not hold so tightly to our political or social opinions on things like that. To me, it was an interesting experience, and Eddington more so than After the Hunt. But
when I first saw it,
a ride.
It is. Obviously, same director, Ari Aster. And I think people go into it, and anytime it takes place during COVID, I think you have your preconceived notions. Like, well, I was on this side for COVID, so this is how I'm going to view the film. This is, how I'm going to see it. And so when I watched the film, because it shows a lot of the things that were happening during COVID. And then, so I look at that and was saying, wow, look at all this stupid stuff that we did that happened. But I think just as easily, but it's not portrayed in a certain way. It was just kind of, this is what was happening. And then through my viewpoint is, look how stupid all this was. You know, they're at a party and it says everybody wear the mask, and then they're just out there without their mask. And I'm
eating and drinking. Yeah.
People did this, and look how stupid it was. But during the time it was happening, and people weren't like, no, that's not stupid. So I think, I don't know, you go in with your viewpoints, and I think you're going to take out, I think you're going to see it through that lens, I think, for part of it.
But something about both Beau is Afraid and Eddington is that there are forces, and maybe this is probably true of all of Ari Aster's films, maybe. There are these forces outside of the main people that are sort of running things. They think they're in charge. Now, from a sort of Christian or religious perspective, especially from a Christian perspective, we can sort of point to that and say human beings are going to try to carry out their own agendas or motivations or whatever. And that may not be the final outcome. Ari Aster has some sinister forces that are, you got these, like, I don't think we ever find out, do we? That they're the sort of in Eddington, who's sort of like blowing up stuff.
Yeah,
maybe I've forgotten, but it doesn't seem all that clear to me in my memory. I don't remember thinking it's these people. It's outside of the main story, right? You got these main antagonists, and then you have somebody that sort of seems to come in out of nowhere, and you also have people who claim to know everything that's going on, right? The guy who comes in and sort of steals his wife, he claims to know what's going on, and like they kind of get enlightened and all this kind of stuff, but they don't know either. And I think that's part of the commentary of the film is everybody sort of thinks they know what's going on, but none of the people in the movie actually do. And, and I think that's a helpful thing. Maybe I disagree with who's in charge or whatever, but there are forces that we don't have any control over, and we think that we're somehow going to, I'm going to make my pronouncement on social media, and he's very bumbling when he's running for mayor, man. Just hilarious, and sort of absurd. There's a lot of absurdity.
Sure.
But anyway, so that's what I got, number 5.
Right, and this is one I think a lot. Well, and they plan it this way. A lot of the best films of the year, or ones that are going to be up for the Oscars or are going to be in the Oscar races, tend to come out towards the end of the year. And this is one that I think came out earlier in the year. I don't remember the month. I went and saw it at the theater. And I think it's when you start looking back, because you get kind of, all these great films that came out at the end of the year. But then you start looking back at all the films that you had seen earlier in the year. And then you remember your thoughts and feelings that you had after the film and how you felt and your reaction. And I think that's when you're like, oh, that's right. That was a great film.
Yeah. That happened to me.
All right. Number
4.
So there are some great horror films last year. And this one from Zach Cregger was one of my favorites. Weapons. Zach Cregger, right? He did it. I should have double checked before I said that.
No, that's right.
Okay. All right. This one was just a fascinating, and it had
I just say it's on my number 4 too, so we can let's just.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Okay. It just had a very original feel to it. And one thing that I think I appreciate in films more and more, especially watching films for the film fest, is how I appreciate secondary characters. And because so many times you watch these films that are submitted and the whole story it's one or two people, and then they'll have a person will come in every once in a while, say a couple lines, give their little thing, and then they're out, and then you never see them again. And I think one of the things that really makes a film stand out from other films, that it elevates it from that was fine to that was a great film, is the inclusion of these secondary characters and building up of these secondary characters and really giving them a backstory and a really prominent place within the film. And so I think what I really liked about Weapons was the switching of the POVs. It starts off with the teacher. And so And anytime you're watching someone and you see someone make the decisions that they're going to make, and you see why they're doing things, you tend to sympathize and empathize with them a little more. And so what they do with this film is they kind of give each of their characters their little moment. And it elevates the film by allowing the viewer to understand all these other characters and not just this main character and why they're doing what they're doing, but you really see, well, this person who I didn't think was a big deal, now it puts a spotlight on him. Now let's show them. Let's show what their living situation is like, what they've been dealing with, why they did what they did. And that's really what elevated this film for me.
Yeah. I thought at one point I thought it was going to be a different thing, because there's the thing where the sort of the gun alarm clock thing appears. I don't know, that's how I remember it, above the house. And I thought that it was going to turn into a sort of like school shooting type.
Yeah, because kids.
Movie.
Right.
Yeah. But so it's not 100% sure exactly how that fits entirely. There's obviously a certain thing with time, and but just there are a lot of sort of maybe not unique elements, but they're put together in a unique way. And honestly, I thought that Julia Garner's character, Justine, I was immediately sort of sympathetic to her.
Oh, sure.
But she is not portrayed as only a victim, and she's got all sorts of problems. So I think that's one thing for me, where she's not only is she not one dimensional in terms of the way she talks or her feelings, or the way she goes, the way the character is, but just sort of, you just feel like she's a real person who is caught up in something like that she doesn't understand. And you can see all of those sort of elements happening, right? Like, who are we going to jump to blame when something like this happens, when this seems to be the person who's at the nexus of the problem? And so you understand Josh Brolin's character's perspective.
Sure.
And anyway, there are a lot of things that I think our other brother Patrick and I saw it together. We had a conversation all the way home. It was good film.
Yeah, I think from the onset,
I don't think it got enough recognition.
I think it got pretty hyped up when it came out.
Right.
And then I don't know, it seemed to fade. It didn't. I don't think it showed up in any of the Oscar categories or anything. Which I don't know.
Horrors tend not to.
Yeah.
But Sinners and Parasite, and there have been some more recently.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's up there, and So
and I think, like you were saying, from the onset, we're certainly sympathetic towards her character, because I think we've all been, if we haven't been in situations, then I think we can certainly understand people who have been in situations when people are looking to blame and you're just there. And I think that's, a certain, like, that's a reality for someone. And I think that's something that easily we can, empathize with and see where their character's coming from.
And in our current cultural climate, where people can find out information about people's pasts fairly easily, whereas you'd have to hire someone special to do this in the past. But so you can look up, how come Justine was fired from previous? How come she left those schools?
Yeah.
Like, so like those sorts of elements that really kind of amp up the pressure and sort of the tension in the film, because you're like, well, wait, does she have something to do with it? Maybe she is the center of this sort of thing. And it's I remember when I saw the trailer, I was like, I'm seeing that movie.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
But so I am with you. Number 4.
Nice. All right, Tim, I guess I'm back
now
up.
We're in the top 3.
We finally made it.
I feel all the rest of my movies, they can all pretty much be moved around. I feel pretty good about my top 3.
Yes. I see, what happens is you start thinking about these films, and then you're like, man, that was a great film. Maybe I should bump this one up. But so
as soon as we start talking, I'm like, wow, I'm moving my list.
I know. Every film we talk about should be my number 1. I know you didn't get a chance to finish it, But Marty Supreme, man. It was so good. It was so good. I saw it with my wife, and we got home, and she was like, I didn't really like him. I didn't like him as a character. And, and I said, I don't know that I did either.
Yeah.
And I think that's why one of the things, why this film is good is because they made a great film, but you don't have to love this main character. So it's very, I think tonally, so Josh Safdie directed it, which I think he was breaking off from his brother with this one, and so he's kind of solo here in that sense. But it feels a lot, in terms of the tone of the film, it feels a lot like Uncut Gems and Good Time. Uncut Gems with Adam Sandler, and then Good Time with Robert Pattinson.
Yes.
So it has
sort of frenetic.
Yeah, the anxiety. The most anxious I think I've ever been watching a film is Uncut Gems. So,
My wife, I saw that with my wife. She hated it. She hated it because she's like, I couldn't stop moving my leg.
I know.
No, for sure.
So this one, it's not on that level, but, and I think the reason it's not on that level, the reason why Uncut Gems is on that level is because you're rooting so much for Adam Sandler's character. You want to see him catch a break, and but he won't. It's almost like he refuses to take any good thing that happens to him. He's like, no, I gotta push it. I gotta keep going with this. And that's where the anxiety comes for this one. And with Marty Supreme, there's a lot of the same things where essentially he's like the best ping pong player, or trying to be. It's based off a true story, I guess. I don't know how close to the original story it is. He's essentially trying to be the best ping pong player in the world. And he doesn't have a whole lot of money, so he's hustling. And he's got a girl pregnant, but then he's also with another girl, Gwyneth Paltrow, he's always hustling. He's like, I just need to get money so that I can get to this ping pong championship, just so that I can prove that I'm the greatest ping pong player. And it's almost this, I have to do this no matter what. That is his one and only goal. Everything else that he does in the film is just so that he can reach that goal. And he does things that he shouldn't do. But in that sense, it kind of relieves some of that stress from you, because you don't care about him as much as maybe some other character. There isn't something that he doesn't have this great character that you're like, no, that guy, I saw him save a puppy and he just wants to have this great life. He doesn't have anything like that.
Yeah, he uses people, and he doesn't seem to care too much, and he really doesn't care. I think in some ways we probably all know someone like this, who acts like they care about people, and they appear to be sorry about the things they do, but they're only sorry because it's put an obstacle in the way of them doing what they really want to do. And someone asked me one time about Uncut Gems and like the fact that his character doesn't really develop, and I'm like, maybe, I don't know if I'm right about this, but maybe that's part of the point, is that all of these things keep happening, these pressures keep on him to change. They could force somebody to change, but they don't force this guy to change. And in some ways, the similarity between these two movies, and again, I haven't seen the end, so don't spoil it, but also
he dies.
I don't.
No, I'm kidding.
Okay. I mean, maybe he does. But my point is that he doesn't seem to change either in the part, at least up to the part I saw. He's still...
No, he doesn't.
Yeah. So whatever happens is only... He just which, in some ways, this is sort of a particular kind of insanity, where whatever the thing is, you just incorporate it into your narrative. Doesn't matter. Good, bad, positive, negative... You just turn it toward your own story, and he continually is doing that. Like, oh no, that was just this, or that was that, or it's constantly reinterpreting the events according to his own narrative. And there's a particular kind of mental illness that is related to that, I think.
I think on some level you want to respect the hustle. I mean, the guy's doing what he has to do, but then at the other. When he does play in these championship ping pong matches, it got to the point where I was like, it's not as stressful, because if he loses, I mean, he almost deserves it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, if he wins, I mean, hey, good, it paid off. But if he loses, then I'm not going to be like, no, why would they do that to us?
Right. Yeah, it's not like one of those sports movies where you expect at the end of it that the guy will come out on top, right?
Yeah. If Rudy hadn't played in the game, yeah, no, it'd be the worst film ever.
Yeah. He hustled, and that was it.
Then he gets cancer and passes away. Well, that's the worst film.
Okay. Are you spoiled? Is that a spoiler? Okay.
I was tying that in to Marty Supreme and trying to... No.
If somebody were to get cancer and die at the end of the movie, then you...
A particular film that we've talked about.
I don't know what that would be, but... So I'm going to, as soon as it comes out, streaming, I'm going to watch the end of it.
Yeah.
I might watch the whole thing again, just to kind of get the...
You should.
But,
it's worth the watch.
My number 3 is one that probably no one has heard of because it was a film festival movie, and I don't know if it's ever going to be released. I don't know. But it was one of the craziest documentaries maybe I've ever seen. And it is called Never Get Busted.
Yes. Dang. Good choice. Good call, man.
This is one that Tennille, my wife, and I saw together, and it may be one of the only movies that we've ever seen where afterward we're like, whoa.
Wait, did you? So you watched this before the festival?
No, I watched it at the festival. We sat in the theater and watched it.
That's right, Tennille was there. I forgot.
Yeah.
Did you talk to the filmmakers?
I talked to the director after about some of the gaps in the story, like
because
what really kind of happened here.
Because he talked about. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
So he was saying that they're working on another one, or at least they have enough stuff maybe for another film. I don't know how far,
or maybe a series. I think is what they were talking about.
Yeah, I don't know how far the production is away, but if you get a chance to see Never Get Busted, I've seen documentaries. We've talked about some of them that just get crazier and crazier. And Abducted in Plain Sight, and then Who Took Johnny. So some of these where you're like every time it ramps up, and you're like, what, that it can't get any crazier than this, and then it does.
Yeah,
and
they surely have learned their lesson.
This is a real person. What the heck happened here? And the production value, the way that it's filmed, the way that they sort of do the editing, and some of the graphics that are sort of transitional, or it all fits. The whole thing fits together very well. Like the whole feel of the film is a very particular feel. And it doesn't matter if it's the way it's edited, the way it's shot, the characters. And the director told me that really they took all of that sort of from, like, the feel of the film is from the guy. Like, and he was like, he's crazier than it shows in the movie. Like, it's everything you see in the movie is like real, but then like this guy is like larger than life.
Yes.
And just so people know, the basic summary is that this guy who started off as sort of he wanted to be the best drug enforcement officer in Texas, basically on the best like task force, and and they start busting guys taking drugs, and then he gets on this task force and they're breaking down doors, and then eventually he starts to sort of wonder about it, where they break down the doors and there's kids crying, and like we're breaking up families and it ends up being a little amount of marijuana or something.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not I'm not a marijuana proponent, but which he becomes in the movie very much. But at the end, there is some very trenchant social commentary about the sorts of prison sentences that say rapists or other sort of horrible crimes, the sentences those people get versus the sentences that some drug offenses get. They're not commensurate at all. Like they're not. They don't match up. And that's something that I think is, regardless of whatever side you're on in terms of what drugs should be legal or whatever, the justice system is not just when it comes to sentences that are based on drugs versus other things. He never sort of does like in favor of all drugs. He's very much focused on just marijuana. I can't explain the story. You just got to see this documentary. I don't know if it's available anywhere. Actually, does not appear to be, according to Letterboxd. But if you get a chance to see Never Get Busted, which is based on some VHS tapes that he made as a former drug enforcement officer about how not to get caught with drugs, which obviously the police are not going to be big fans of. And that kind of starts the story. And then he just becomes, he just goes like, you're like, what? He's an X-rated preacher now? Like, what the, like, that's just one of the things that happens in this movie.
He's one of those guys that he doesn't do anything halfway.
Right.
He's all in on everything he does. If I'm going to do this, I'm going all the way. Yes, right. Yeah, like as you mentioned, he starts out, he's like, I'm going to bust as many drug dealers as possible. And then he flips. Hey, if you need to hide drugs, this is where the dogs won't find them. This is where they can't sniff them. This is where to put them.
This is what you should do if you don't want to get... Yeah, it's just a over-the-top, sane documentary of a real guy and the people who are with him, and also some amazingly incredible good things that he does. And I won't give it away because it's a major part of the story.
Yeah, it's one of the... You finish watching and I pulled up Google right away. Like, what is this dude doing now?
Yeah, right. Yeah, because there are some unanswered questions, and hopefully maybe there will be some other stuff that comes out, because I had to ask the director about it, and I won't give that away, but you can watch the...
Good call on that one, man. I'd forgotten about that one. Good one.
All right, number 2, what you got?
This is one that wasn't expecting it to be as good as it was. Train...
Huh. Okay, that's my number 2, too.
Dang!
So we did not talk about this ahead of time.
Did not at all.
So that's 2 we got in the same position.
I know we have different number ones, so...
Yeah, okay. But I'm on Train Dreams too, so...
I know
Dad my kind of movie, man.
Dad didn't like it. I think Mom kind of liked it, but...
You maybe got to be in a mood. It's
a mood film for sure. But it may not have been the mood that I was in when I turned it on.
But then you were...
But then it turned my mood. That film was the mood. It's so... And this is the one that I really wanted. I wanted it to win Best Cinematography because cinematography is one of those things that... Well, okay, so I would say 80% of the films, you don't think about the cinematography. And then you have the bottom 10 and the top 10. That was the... Yeah, why would they... Choice. Right. And then you have films like this where the cinematography is almost the star of the film. There's so many great, sunrise, sunset shots, and they're in the forest. So it's beautiful. It's a beautiful film. And it doesn't take away from the film, and instead it does the opposite. It really enhances the film. It really sets the tone and the mood for this film. And the whole look of the film, it's beautiful. And I think it's beautiful in the simplicity of the film. It's obviously not an action. It's not a comedy, but it's really...
But man, nothing. No nominations. None.
It was nominated for Best Cinematography.
Oh, Best Picture. Oh, was it?
I don't know. I know Best Cinematography. I don't know about any others.
Okay. Maybe I just didn't win anything.
I think when you look at it from a certain standpoint, it doesn't have the mass audience appeal that a lot of the other films have. It's not
if
a
that's
wild
what
ride.
Was looking for, then...
But it was just, I think to sum it up, it's beauty in the split, and just really gets down to what people want and what they need to be happy and what they're looking for.
I lied about the nominations. So it was nominated for 4 awards.
Okay. It didn't win any, did it?
No. Cinematography, Nick Cave and Bryce Dessner, which that song...
Oh, the song, the music.
So good. I'm a big Nick Cave and The National fan, so you got both of those there.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Best Motion Picture and Best Adapted Screenplay. So I was lying, but it didn't win any.
I've heard the book is even better, which
I haven't read it yet, but it's on my list.
Which I don't know. Obviously, I haven't read the book, but it seems very much like a visual kind of film, like a visual medium, like to tell the story, because that's one of the great things is the visuals in the film. So I don't know. Maybe
it'll be interesting to compare those. I actually at the beginning I thought it was going to, I read another book and I didn't look it up, so I can't think of the name of it right now, but about a sort of logging town in Washington. And I thought at first, I was like, wait, is this movie about, was it made from that book? But it's made from like a novella, right? So it's kind of a shorter. So it's not. But, I mean, the Northwest sort of just kind of lends itself to the way that it is. And so...
It's a great setting. Yeah.
I loved it. This is the sort of movie, this is my sort of, aesthetic. It's
Absolutely.
The other movie that sort of comes close for me is Columbus, which is a totally different kind of movie, but it has the same, to me, it like just jives with me. It's my vibe.
The word that comes to mind for me is contemplative.
Yes. Yeah. No. Good.
It's a sit back, soak it all in, and just take it in kind of film,
Yeah. I really enjoyed it. So it's up there. All right, let's argue about number one.
I don't know that that's ever happened, that we've actually had two in the same spot.
Maybe not in the same spot. We've certainly had two in the top five, but I don't know if we've had two in the same spots. That's pretty good.
So this one is one that when I saw it in the theater, it was number one. And
so stayed there.
It stayed there. I saw it again in the theater in October.
Wait, something happened in October?
And it just reinforced it. It's another one we did an episode on. You want to guess it, Tim? Go ahead and say it.
I think
you have a guess.
Is it Sinners?
It is Sinners.
Okay.
I think it's just a complete film for me. And it's a horror film that has something to say, which I didn't even realize. That's like 3 horror films in my top 5 there.
That's what I need from I'm not a big fan of slashers. I let some of them try to throw a little social commentary on the top, but I like it when there is some depths.
It's almost like the horror aspect is, secondary.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't even get into the horror till, I don't know, halfway or more, 2/3. Right.
Yeah, if you didn't know that it was a vampire movie, it would take you a while.
Yeah.
You got there.
Right. And
you really, until there's that sort of the part where they come to that house out in the kind of middle of nowhere, and I think that's maybe the first place where you sort of discover there's some bad stuff going on.
Bad things.
But we had a whole episode. I think that we touched on a lot of things with Jason Swan. So go back and listen to that one if you want to hear more about Sinners. I think that there's some anything else about what sets it number one.
I think it's just the film that I keep coming back to. There's just so many parts of it. I really thought Oscar voters were going to come to their senses, and I thought this was going to be the best picture. I thought it was going to be voted best picture. And I'll say it, they got it wrong. They just did. They're not always right. They got it wrong for this one. They should not have picked the one they did pick.
Which we haven't mentioned, and I think
the
there's
one
a reason for that.
The one. Okay, yeah. When was the last time that happened? The film that
hasn't been on our list at all.
Has the film that was selected as best picture? I didn't even. It's not even on my mentions. Not there.
I think Eddington is a sort of interesting parallel to that because.
Okay. Yeah.
Because the people who loved that movie came in with they associated sides with certain people. And it's a film to me like where there were some things I really loved about it, and we're talking about one battle after another. I don't think we actually said it.
That which
shall not be named on this podcast. So I loved Leo's father-daughter dynamic. I like that, and I liked the car chase, the way it was filmed.
Fantastic editing. Fantastic.
So
with the hills,
and I thought there were some funny moments, but I guess I went in PTA. I'm thinking I love Magnolia. I love I don't know. I just it and then I was thinking about it. It's like maybe Magnolia's the only one I really love
from PTA.
Yeah, I mean. There are probably others, but that's the one that sort of sticks out.
I rewatched The Master recently. Whoa!
I should watch that again.
Fantastic.
So I think when you have one side where people are sort of human and one side where people are caricatures, it's really difficult to sort of get into it. I don't know. I just had a really difficult time sort of enjoying it, and not because I'm on the side of the Colonel or whatever. You know, he's a funny character.
I hope you're not on the side of the.
Yeah, I'm not on the side of Santa Claus people, but like everything on that side is sort of a joke.
Yes.
Like if you are trying to make some, like, and I haven't read the novel, I don't know, but if you're trying to make some social commentary, you can't make one side a total caricature unless it's propaganda. And I don't know. I just didn't.
It might be that's
unless it's propaganda.
That's what it felt.
So
I will say, Sean Penn.
Yeah, no, he deserves his
I
award.
Absolutely loved his character. I loved
You're
his...
ready to join up. No.
Yeah, I know, and can I say that I liked his character without?
Well, I think a lot of people do. I think a lot of people. Yeah,
he won. He won. Yeah. Best actor, and supporting.
I think
he was fantastic. Yeah. Maybe my favorite part of the film. I think he was that character for me.
Yeah. So I also like Benicio del Toro.
Mm-hmm.
And there were interesting. In some ways, it felt like if Paul Thomas Anderson had done like Infinite Jest or something. Infinite Jest has all of these different settings that are very particular with particular characters, and just, I don't know. It didn't feel cohesive. I had trouble, so it's not on my list.
And there
were some parts I liked, and then I talked to somebody else, and I was like. Yeah.
From the onset, this film, before it even came out, it was the best film of the year. Before it even been released, PTA, Leo, this is the best film. And I didn't even know what it was about.
The trailer was amazing. The trailer,
I didn't watch a trailer.
It's another trailer like Weapons, where I was like, I'm 100% seeing it.
See, this was a film I knew I was going to see it. PTA, Leo, in fact, I avoided it. I don't want to know anything about it. Okay. And I sat in and I was like, are you guys serious? Is this is the film that you were talking about? I felt throughout the film, but when it was over, I was like, no, I'm pretty sure you guys saw a different film than I did, is how I felt.
Yeah. I didn't get all the love for it. It just didn't kind of match.
I want to say I'm going to get redemption in about 10, 15 years. People are going to come back and say, you know what? We made a mistake. We made a mistake on that one. But
it's certainly
maybe not.
Certain. It's got to be at the bottom of his filmography. It's got to be.
Yeah. No, I agree.
It's bloated. I don't know. I just... so your number one is Sinners. My number one, which is, again, a film that's sort of just like my kind of film. Just
all right, before you say it, I know, sorry, I'm interrupting. I do like, and I'm sure this one's going to be no different, but I like your number one always comes in and dang, that's a good number one.
Well,
I feel like I may have gone a little commercial, but you always have good number
sometimes,
one.
Sometimes, well, I think my number 3 this year is the one, I usually have one that I feel like I've seen and maybe somebody else hasn't, but there's just something about it that is different than everything else. But my number one, which I did win in Best International Feature.
Yeah. Okay, fair.
Sentimental Value. And I was in the entire time. I love Scandinavian films, and I was a little surprised that most of it was in Norwegian, right? And that's not something I expected, really. But family drama where just the family dynamics between the father and the daughters between them. And then you have this outside sort of, not on her own volition, but she's introduced into this dynamic. And I just... It's not like a complicated story. It's a very sort of, like, the pieces. But the acting just makes it such a dramatic narrative. If you don't have these actors, I don't think you get this movie. So Renata Reinsve in Worst Person in the World,
right?
And then in A Different Man. Is that what it's called?
I don't know that I'd seen anything else.
Yeah, she plays.
Wait, Different Man? Is that the one?
Yeah. No, what's it called? Yeah, Different Man.
Yeah.
No, it's called Different Man. Did we talk about this? I think this was on my list for 2024.
Different Man that's not the one with the guy. I realized I was going to say it.
Yeah. Sebastian Stan?
Yeah. That's the one.
Yeah,
I think we
she's
did
she's
talk.
the girlfriend.
I think I want to say it was on one of my lists. That had
I'm
to
pretty
be in
sure
my top 10.
I'm pretty sure it was on my list, and that's another one that did not get a lot of
Fantastic
I mean,
film.
just so
Different,
So,
man.
and I feel like this one is a little bit more straightforward than that. That one has some it kind of jumps around time
sure,
a little bit,
right.
and and some more fantastical elements. Anyway, everything I see Renata Reinsve, and she's great. And then, I mean, Stellan Skarsgård. You've got
Stellan Skarsgård.
I mean, of course. And you sort of just feel like a Bergman-esque type, like Scenes from a Marriage, that type of thing,
like an authenticity to it.
Yeah. So I loved it. Number one.
Nice, good call, bro.
Again, it's not that nothing could be moved around, but I feel pretty good about my top.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, Train Dreams was up there, and then I felt that I had stronger reactions to other films, but I think
but it has
which I did. I think I probably had a stronger reaction to Weapons or something, but I think Train Dreams is one that it was so unique, especially with all the other films that came out, and I think that it was different. The look, the tone of it. It was a special film. Yeah.
I think it's going to sustain its value. Like, I think people are that is one I think more and more people are going to discover and be like, man, just a well made,
and it it may have to come to you at the right time, but
maybe. And it's tragic. Like, if you don't like sad movies, that might not.
Yeah, because it is.
I feel like there is a note of optimism, maybe, but maybe not the way that we naturally sort of want a film to end.
Yeah, because
I think that's probably the one. That might be the one obstacle to it getting like a wide sort of.
People want like a sort of a complete closure. I think anytime.
Yeah, and
like if a dog runs
waiting for that,
you are. Yeah. Like if a dog runs away in a film, you want that dog to come back at the end. And I'm not saying that happens in this film, but that's
so to speak. Yeah.
Then the reality is that dog doesn't always come.
It's a tragedy. It's a tragedy for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like our sister-in-law says, that's the sort of movie that am I ever going to pick a happy movie? And it's not necessarily. Yeah. It's not necessarily a happy movie. I feel like there is some optimism at the end, but it's very, very much how life sometimes goes, and you want maybe your life, or at least a part of your life, to have a happy ending or a satisfying conclusion, and sometimes it just doesn't happen. And Plus, I love the last. I mean, I bought the song. Yeah. It's such a great song, and I love Nick Cave. So
there's a certain form of acceptance, I think, in that film. That's something to hold on to.
So there they are.
That's it.
Maybe you got some others on your list. I'd be interested if when we post this, if you've got a film that either we didn't mention or didn't get enough recognition from last year.
Yeah.
Post it, comment it. We're not the Academy. These are our favorite films. So we've said that enough times. So, and we didn't even talk about short films at the Oscars, but maybe we'll get a chance to do that sometime. But because this year I didn't get to see as many as I did last year in the theater. But anyway.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So maybe who knows? Maybe we'll get a chance to talk about some short films at the Oscars. Otherwise, this has been episode 91 Cinema. SaintsOfCinema.com. That's our website. Go check it. And we're hoping to get some more guests on, so look for those. All right.
Thanks for listening.